Good morning, students. This is Suman Chaswal. Today I'm going to do SST questions, mixed bag for class 10th, and so that I had started the series of giving you some important questions for SST, and it will be history, geography, civics as well as economics. So today our next questions are, let's go through them for the practice and revision for all the students of class 10th. So let's get started. Your first question is, SST revision. Question number 1 is, give two reasons to state that India is a federal country. Give two reasons, and this is 2 marks question. Give two reasons to state that India is a federal country. Now all of you know that federal country, when we say a country which is a federal country, or what is federalism, is when the country has 2 levels, 2 or more than 2 levels of government, okay, to govern the country. That time that country is called a federal country, and India has more than 2 levels of government, the center, the state, and now we also have the local government. So what is a federal country? A country which has 2 or more than 2 levels of government. Center, at the center, which is also known as union, and second is state government. Center government or union government, then state government, and third is local government. Okay, so this is one feature that India is a federal country. Second feature, second point is that the government has different organs to work. Okay, the government has different organs to implement their work. The government works under the following 3 heads, that are the organs of the government, which are the, like we have different organs of the body, hands, legs, right, or the same torso. So all body parts do different works. Okay, what the hand does is different, what the legs do, that is different. Okay, in the same way, they are the organs of the government. Which are those? Again, make a flow chart for better understanding. This is legislative, executive, and third is judiciary. Okay, now what is legislative? Law making body. The law making body is the legislative. Executive is to implement the or execute the law, and judiciary is to decide on the disputes. Whatever disputes take place between the state, with the center, the commons, or otherwise, to decide. Okay, so these are the 3 organs, has 3 organs or to work. The government has 3 organs to work. That is legislative, executive, and judiciary. Okay, if you write in this way in the flow chart, it will be easy for you to remember. So our question was, give 2 reasons to state that India is a federal country. First reason is that there are more than 2 levels of government, center, state, and local. And third is, the government has 3 organs to implement their work: legislative, executive, and judiciary. Okay, you will get your 2 marks. Then next question is, and in SST when you make flow charts, it becomes very easy for you to learn. Second is question number 2. Agriculture gives boost to the industrial sector. justify. Okay, so this is a 3-mark question. Agriculture gives boost to the industrial sector, justify. So what will be the justification? That how does agriculture give boost to the industrial sector? Number one, what is the first point? That agriculture, whatever what you call implements are required in agriculture, who produces them? The industry. So all agricultural implements are provided by the industry. For example, what are the examples? Like tractors, harvesters, okay, rakes, whatever machinery, all machinery. So all machinery that is provided to the agriculture is by the industry. Where are these tools made? In the industries. So this gives work to the production to the industry. So industries produce it, so the production increases. So industries flourish. Secondly, all fertilizers and pesticides. Who provides the fertilizer and pesticides used in agriculture? By the industry. They are all chemicals. Chemical industry provides fertilizers, pesticides, which is very important for the agriculture sector. So agriculture is giving boost to the industries because it requires chemicals, fertilizers and pesticides, and the industries are producing it. So this is also giving a boost. Agriculture is giving boost to the industry. Number 3, raw material are provided by the agriculture to the industries. Example, sugarcane. Sugarcane is grown in the agriculture industry, so sugarcane is given to the industry and it produces sugar, jaggery, sugar, jaggery, and the powder also, and all that. So sugarcane makes all that. So sugarcane is provided by the agriculture and the industry produces sugar, jaggery and all. Second, we can say cotton. Cotton is a crop, it grows, so it is provided as a raw material to the industry and it produces yarn. Yarn means thread. Okay, so in this way it provides raw material is provided to by the agriculture industry to the industry. So this also boosts agriculture, it boosts the industries. Number 4, what is the next this thing? How does agriculture boost the industries? That the areas where the industries are, agriculture helps industries by development and providing providing agricultural products. Here they are providing as raw material. Here agricultural products are further provided and to the industries to make other new products, to manufacture new products. So in this way the agriculture boosts the industry. Okay, so you can get 3, 4, 5 points, whatever. So even if you give 3 points, you get 3 marks. Okay, so our question was agriculture gives boost to the industrial sector, justify. Okay, so the agriculture is the main state which helps the industries to grow. Okay, and the country becomes economically strong. Our next question. So this was from geography. The first one was from pol science And the second question was from geography. 2 marks and 3 marks. Then question number 3. The Indian Constitution provides 3 lists. 3 lists to distribute the legislative powers. Whenever students, the word legislative means law making. You should understand, legislative means law making. So to distribute legislative powers. State any 2 subjects that are included in the union's list in which the subject education is included and why. Okay, the Indian Constitution provides 3 lists to distribute legislative. This is the first part of the question. And second part is state any 2 subjects. State any 2 subjects in the union list. Okay, now since this is one question, this was for 3 marks. Because there is another part of this question also. But before that, I will tell you what are these 3 lists. The Constitution has provided 3 lists. They mean topics on which laws can be made. Okay, and powers have been distributed. To who will make the laws on this subject, who will make on this subject, who will make on this subject. So, lists are given. So, first is the union list. Again, make a table. Then is state list. Third is concurrent list, and fourth is residual. Okay. Now the Constitution provides 3 lists. Okay, I am doing another one, residual also, and these lists have different topics. Legislative powers to make laws. Okay, otherwise there will be a lot of conflict between the center and state. Who will make the law? So there are different subjects given to each, so that they can make laws on those topics only. So anything to do with national importance for the whole nation, those subjects are included in the union list which are of national importance. Means I am staying in Delhi, you are staying in Punjab, he is staying in Haryana, or in the Andhra Pradesh, the whole country. Everybody is affected by this, so of national importance. Then state importance. This state list में those subjects are included which are only for the state importance. I will explain later. Concurrent list is both center and state. The subjects both can make laws. Center also can make law and state can also make law. And residual means remaining, which are remaining. Since Constitution was made in 1950, and since then today it is 2024. Okay, so many 75 years have nearly passed. So new things have come up, new technology, new developments. So where laws have to be made. So those subjects which have come up now, after the independence, after 1950, which have not been included in the Constitution, they are residual, means remaining. So they are put in the residual list. And only the center can make laws on that. Now, union lists are national importance, subjects are national importance, and only the central government can make laws on them. Okay. For example, defense, army, navy, air force, this comes under defense. It is of the national importance. Railways, the whole country is using the railways. Okay. Airports. So they are of national importance. Okay, banks, then external affairs. So all these which are of national importance, they are included in the in the union list. State list, all that which are concerned. In India we have such a varied type of geography. Okay, somewhere there are hills, somewhere there are mountains, Somewhere they are plateau, somewhere they are plain, desert. So states are also different. Culturally, we are so different. Okay. So what is of state importance? For example, police. You must have seen the police. They have badges here. Punjab police, UP police, Haryana police. Okay. So police comes under the state list because every state has their own police. Okay. Then comes the agriculture, because in West Bengal, northeastern state rains heavily. They grow paddy, rice, and the plains like Uttar Pradesh, etc., Haryana, Uttar Pradesh, they all are dry regions mostly. So we grow wheat. So we have different type of climatic conditions and geographical features. So agriculture also comes in the state list. Okay. Then education. And the third part of the question was, okay, education comes in which list? Which list does education come? So it comes in the state list. Why? Because see, in Punjab, Punjabi is compulsory, Bengal, Bengali is compulsory. Okay, every state. Now we have a same system like CBSE, ICSE board. So we have, but that's only from 9, 12 onwards. 9 to 12 onwards, they are NCERT books. But below that, the books are different, and language also. Till it is compulsory in school, 7th, 8th standard, the language of that state is compulsory. So education comes in the state list. So all those which are of state importance, they come in the state list. Then concurrent list, both center and state can make laws, but if for the same law, they also have made and state also has made, center is being the more powerful, the law will be recognized by the center. The one which has been made by the center, that will be recognized because center is more powerful than the state. For example, laws on marriage, property, distribution, hierarchy, who's going to be the next follower, and so on. So all those marriage, property, adoption, all these are the same. They come under the concurrent list. Both center and state can make the laws, but if same law has been made by both, the center one will be effective, not the state, because center is more powerful than the state. Then comes the residual. Residual, like I told you, after 1950, so many developments have happened. So all those which have not been included in the constitution, they have been added in this list. For example, technology, okay, media, mass media, then computers, or you can say software. Okay, all these are new developments. So they all come in the residual. Okay, so the question was, the Indian Constitution provides 3 lists to distribute legislative power. So the 3 lists are union list, state list, concurrent list, and the 4th one is residual list. Then state any 2 subjects in the union list. Any 2: defense, railways, airport, bank, external affairs. So only we have to say 2. Then state list are subjects which are of state importance. For example, police, agriculture, education, and so on. Concurrent list, both center and state can make the laws, but if the law is being made by both, center one will be more effective because center is more powerful than the state. Marriage, property, hierarchy, adoption, etc. And residual is the remaining new developments like technology, media, computer, software, and so on. So understood, students? This is the what are these 3 lists that it's talking about. So first is center, second is state, third is concurrent, and 4th is residual. Have you understood, all of you? Okay. And this question is again for 3 marks, and you can do it in this. And the third part of the question was, education comes in which list? The 3 lists for legislative powers. Sorry, I erased it by mistake. State any 2 in the union list. And the third part of the question was, education comes in which list? Okay. Now, question number 4. Question number 4 is analyze the role of multi-party system in a democratic country. Related to the question, like I explained here, the 3 lists related to the question, I'm also explaining other things. Okay, so analyze the role of multi-party system in a democratic country like India. Now, to understand this multi-party system, you must know what it is about. Again, make a table. Unitary party system, then bi-party system, and third is multi-party system. There are 3 types of party system. Unitary means one, where there is only one party. In a country where there is only one party. Bi-party means in a country where there are only 2 major parties. And multi-party system where there are more than 2 parties. Which party? What is this party called? Not that party that we are saying. Political parties. One political party. More than 2 political parties. Okay. Now, one political party example is China. China is a communist country. Okay, they have only one party. Then, 2 major political example is USA. USA has major 2 political parties. And more than 2 political parties, example is India. We have so many political parties, more than 6 we have national parties and many regional parties, more than 90 something like odd numbers. Okay, so BJP, Aam Party, SP, Samajwadi, and so many UP alliances. So in India is an example of multi-party system. So this I have explained to you that related to the question what is one party, what is bi-party, and what is multi-party. Now coming to the question, analyze the role of multi-party system in a democratic country like India. What is the role of a multi-party system? Why do we have a multi-party system? What is the importance? What is a multi-party system? Why should we have multi-party? Means many parties, many political parties. Why do we have? So that it gives the voter choice. I'm writing in short. Voter gets a lot of choice. Like you go to the market and you see, when you go to one showroom, you see one pair of jeans, no, it's not, the fitting is not, the color is not. You go to the another showroom, third, fourth, and after so many choice, then you find the perfect one which is to your liking, which suits your pocket, which is good to look at and very nice fit, and finally you buy. Why did you do all that? Because you got so much choice. So you took the best one which looks overall good on you. So it gives the voter choice. Okay. Second, multi-party system. Second will be what? That party, one party does not you misuse the power. There is, or you can say, no misuse of power. If there is only one party, what will happen? One party only, all powers are vested in one party, the members will start misusing the power. If there are multi-parties, so there is this thing that they are all keep a check and balances, so nobody can misuse the power. In a democratic country, that is very important, that power is not misused. So no misuse of power. Okay, so voter has enough choice. Then competition between the different political parties. There is always competition, and competition is very healthy. Okay, why? Because each party tries to do its best. Okay, and that is very good for the overall development of the country. Okay, every party tries to do the best. The BJP says I am the best. Aam Party says I am going to do this. The other one is going to. So each one is competitive spirit is very healthy and very good for overall development of a country. So there is competitiveness when there are multi-party system. Okay. Fourth, decisions. Decisions are not taken immediately. That there's one party, the decision will be taken immediately. So when there are multi-party system, decisions are debated, discussed, and then a decision is taken. So when so many heads get together and decisions are taken, the decision is always good. Okay, so decisions are discussed, debated, and finally they are used. So in this way, question was analyze the role of multi-party system in a democratic country. Okay, so it gives the voter more choice. It raises the spirit of competition. It helps no misuse of power. There is decisions are discussed and debated. So good decisions are taken. So a multi-party system is the most important thing of a democratic country. Okay, so that, and then like India is a secular country, so every region gets the, you can add one more point. All the people are given the power. Which part? Political power. So every region people are given the political power. Okay, we have regional parties, they also come into part. So this gives a feeling of that we are all equal. Okay, that one power is not concentrated in one type of caste or religion or region people, because we are a secular country. What is secular? Means we follow many diverse cultures. Okay, we have many religions. So then they will create lot of disunity. So this also keeps a healthy lookout in the country. So multi-party system is very beneficial, especially in a country like India where it is a secular country. Okay, so this was our fourth question. Analyze the role of multi-party system in a democratic country like India. So students, I have given you 4 questions. Let me give you quickly one mark question. Let's do one mark question so that we can close it up. This comes as a multiple choice question, MCQ. Okay. The European Union has its headquarters in dash, that is Brussels. Okay, so the European Union has its headquarters in Brussels. Okay, so this is the 1 mark question. So students, today I gave you 5 questions. First was give 2 reasons to state that India is a federal country, 2 marks. Agriculture gives boost to the industrial sector, justify. Please give examples to give your points. Okay, make it more effective. Third question, the Indian Constitution provides 3 lists for legislative powers. State any 2 in the union list. And education comes in which list? Analyze the role of multi-party system in a democratic country like India. And fifth was the European Union has its headquarters in dash, Brussels. Okay, so these were the 5 questions. This one is from Paul Science. This is from Paul Science again Paul Science. This is from geography, and again this is Paul. I just gave a mixed bag, and fortunately 4 questions are from Paul Science. And I find children find Paul Science the most difficult, so automatically 4 questions have come. Okay, so you can write down these questions. They are important, and I've explained also, given you the answers also, explained also related to the question. I've given you answers for so many questions, so this will really help you. So students, like I had told you, if you stay with me, you are with me, you listen to my videos, write down all the questions as well as the answers. There is no that question that you do not get less than 90%. I guarantee you that. Only follow me. Okay, students? So thank you all of you, and don't forget to subscribe, like and share. Please write your comments also. I would like to hear about it. How are you finding my videos and my lessons and my questions? and it will be a good this thing, and I will also try to answer them. Okay, and thank you once again, and God bless all of you.